Okay, so what do we know so far? We know we need to read. Whoops, where is it there? We need to read. We need to read our textbook, and we need to read the content in pause. Now, as you read, you may want to have that book in your lap and go through the pause quizzes so that you can earn your points for those quizzes and again help to digest and use that information and kind of apply that information. Then the next thing that we know is that you're going to have to go to another website, your Connect website for your particular class section, and you're going to have to complete problems that come from the back of the book, but since they're in this online website, the numbers are going to change, but you have these great benefits like you get the work is graded immediately, that kind of thing. Now, why is that important? Notice how these have arrows coming down to kind of this middle. I'm going to tell you what that says. You can see it on the main page there in pause. It says that when it comes time to take the exam, your exam consists of two parts. Questions that come from the pause quizzes. Remember that I said every time you take that quiz, you may see different questions. Well, how do I prepare the exam? I tell pause, go out there and grab some questions from those chapter quizzes. Consequently, the test that you take and your best friend takes who's also in the class or one of your other student colleagues, you may all have slightly different tests. But if you have taken that quiz enough times, you probably have seen every single test question that there is. You don't even have to take it 100 times. I mean, some of my pool of questions, maybe 25, 30 questions, right? So if you take it enough time, you've probably seen every single test question. You have all the information in advance. That means you have a lot of control on how well your grade is in this class, how well you do in this class. Okay, so I encourage you to spend some time taking those quizzes, but not so much time that you procrastinate the Connect assignments. Because what does it say here? It says that Part B of your exams is going to be Connect questions, problems from the book, straight from these assignments. Okay, so you'll take those Connect assignments. Then you'll sit down for the test when the test comes, and you'll say, I remember this problem. I have solved this before. But the last time I saw it, let me just give you an example. I had to calculate the average of the numbers 3, 5, 7, and 9. Well, this time, it's still asking me to calculate the average, but it's asking me to calculate the average of 10, 20, 30, 40. The process is the same. The numbers are different. But you've worked the problem before, so you just sit down and say, I understand what kind of problem this is. Let me apply the process so I always solve it the same way, right? I mean, that's what it's really all about. And you should do very well. Again, if you've spent time completing these Connect problems, it will be very familiar. What tends to happen, a little forewarning here, what tends to happen is that students spend so much time on the multiple choice quizzes because you like to just guess and you say A, C, B, D, and you never spend time on the Connect stuff because it's a little harder. Don't do that. Schedule your time. Maybe Monday is your days for working pause quizzes, and Tuesday is the day that you work on Connect assignments, and Wednesday you go back and do some pause quizzes, and Thursday you spend a little time doing Connect. I'm not saying you spend 10 hours every day, but you do need to spend some time with it every day. Now, let me continue on around because you have a little bit another type of assignment. And the further we go in the semester, the more you'll actually enjoy this next type of assignment. These are called learning projects. And when you look in the Dropbox area of pause, you're going to see your first learning project is already available. And it's an Excel spreadsheet. And let's see, on this one, you'll have to read the instructions, but I believe I have you do some graphs. And it's just because this is something that we cover in the book. Right? So I want you to get some hands-on personal experience with that using Excel, which is one of the leading business tools. You cannot go wrong learning to use that. You say, but I haven't had any Excel training. That's okay. I am giving you the instructions, and you just need to follow those instructions to the letter, okay? And you'll do just fine. those learning projects are somewhere around 20 points. Check the syllabus to be sure. But you should be able to get those points very easily. Stop. What did you just hear me say? Did you just hear me say that if you slop something together and submit it that you're going to get credit? No. You have to follow the instructions. You need to do a good job. But what I said to you is, it is not calculus, okay? It is a little software program that you're going to have fun with. You really will. Give yourself a chance on that, okay? Because you're going to do it and you're going to go, I just made a graph. How did I do that, okay? So you're going to enjoy that. You submit those into the PAWS Dropbox. I can get the file from there, and I will grade it there. Special note, I never, ever, ever accept emailed assignments. You must submit the assignment through the PAWS Dropbox. Don't email it to me and say, I'm sorry, I don't understand what to do, it was too late. Nope, nope, PAWS Dropbox. What else do you have in that PAWS Dropbox? Oh, well, if I continue on around, extra credit. Here's something I like to do. Early on in the semester, you're going to feel a little bit more comfortable with some of the concepts that we cover. Later on in the semester, they're going to get harder. So why don't you plan now to earn some extra credit? Don't wait until the end of the semester. And every semester, I have students who come to me and say, it's now in the last 2-3 weeks of class, my grades are in horrible condition. Can I write a paper and that would take the place of doing the work the other people did all semester long? My answer is going to be no to you. It's always no, and that's a sad thing. But it's not no. There's no extra credit. It's no. You didn't do what you needed to do. Here's what you need to do. Starting with Chapter 2, you're going to see an Excel extra credit for Chapter 2. If you do that assignment, and it probably won't even take you that long to do, you can earn up to 10 extra credit points every exam. Might have to double check me on that, but it's a lot, okay? The reason I say that is because it changes from semester to semester. But again, you're just going to follow the instructions that I give you in the Dropbox, submit that file into the Dropbox, and earn those extra credit points as you go throughout the semester. Not at the end of the semester. As we cover a chapter, there are extra credit points at that time for that chapter. Okay? Okay. Finally, let me kind of continue on around. I have an area here that says lecture and participation, and quite frankly, that probably applies a little bit more to the traditional classes rather than the online classes. But that being said, you cannot sit out in cyberspace being completely inactive. You need to make partners or relationships with your classmates. The first way that you're going to do that is by posting an introduction into the PAWS discussion, okay? You will find instructions for that by reading the content and finding out what you need to do. PAWS content area, right? You see the links up at the top. Is it over here? Where is it? Okay. You need to do that. Introduce yourself. Find out what you have in common with other students. Also, when you get stuck, you're frustrated, you have answered this multiple choice question now 5 different times, and you don't understand what the right answer is, email me using the PAWS email and say, here is why I think the answer should be this, and it's not. You know what, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Sometimes I've got the answer key wrong. Now, that's probably not the case because this answer key has been verified by several different semesters of students, but it does happen. And if you can tell me what you think it should be, then I can say, well, I understand why you think that, and here's where you're not quite understanding, and put you on the right path. Same thing with Connect. Oh, students get so frustrated because they say, I started my homework at 10 o'clock the night before it was due, and I wasn't able to finish, and you're not going to be able to finish. Remember what I've said to you. You need to spend a little time every day. You really have to immerse yourself in this. If you can do that this summer, you're going to find that statistics can actually be kind of fun. It has a lot of business value and business meaning. Okay? So this is an overview